Chapter 71 Purely for the Experience of Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 20 days later, Flanders, Zhao Wuji and the teachers of Shrek Academy, especially Flanders. Flanders' hands were very exaggerated, and he actually wore 10 rings. As long as you are a soul master, you will definitely find that they are not ordinary rings, but valuable storage soul guides. How is it? Mukin asked. I made a lot of money. I now have an idea. Upgrade our Shrek Academy to a high-level Soul Master Academy. Flanders laughed. In the past 20 days, whenever there was a game of the Shrek 7 Devils, Flanders and other teachers of Shrek Academy would bet on the Shrek 7 Devils to win. So hard to make money, not only the teachers of Shrek Academy, but even the Shrek 8 Devils are now small rich men. Let's go, it's time to go back. It's time to prepare the items to go to the Killing City. Mukin said lightly. However, before Mukin and others stepped out of the gate of the Great Soul Fighting Arena, they were stopped by 7 or 8 people. You. The leader, a middle-aged man in brocade clothes, looked at the people in front of him in surprise. He said in surprise, "Are you together?" Ma Hongjun got angry when he heard it, and said coldly, "Why, we are not allowed to leave after winning the money." The middle-aged man's expression changed, and then he hurriedly explained, "You misunderstood, who among you 7 is the leader of them?" Flanders, Zhao Wuji and others looked at Mukin. Mu Chen had no choice but to step forward and said, "I am." Ding dong. Congratulations, you have triggered the F-level hidden mission and defeated the Royal Fighting Team. The middle-aged man looked at Mukin in surprise, as if he didn't expect Mukin to be so young and already the leader. However, the middle-aged man still saluted politely and said, "Hello, respected leader. I am the person in charge of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena. I wonder if we can have a talk. It won't take up much of your time. Are you representing yourself or the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena?" The middle-aged man said. "Tell me, what is it?" Mukin asked. "Straightforward. On behalf of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena, I hope that the 7 of them can have a team battle in the central main Fighting Soul Arena in a group battle mode." The middle-aged man said. "This is not in line with the rules. According to the rules of the Fighting Soul Arena, only Soul Masters with Silver Fighting Souls or above can show up in the main Fighting Soul Arena. And the 7 of them are just Iron Fighting Souls." Mukin said. "You don't have to be modest. With the combat power of the 7 of them, they can definitely get the Silver Fighting Soul badge. Even if they become Silver Fighting Souls one day earlier, it doesn't matter." The middle-aged man said. "In that case, you don't have to be so anxious." Mukin said lightly. "Dear sir, let me tell you the truth. I have no other choice. 3 days ago, a Soul Master team came here. They are all composed of Silver Soul Masters. It seems that they were invited by the nobles of Soto City. Those nobles have placed heavy bets on them for 2 consecutive days." "Heavy bets? How much?" Mukin asked. "A terrifying astronomical figure. They also won the soul battle without any suspense, and my great soul battlefield suffered heavy losses. Soul Masters who have reached the Silver Soul level are generally above level 40. But the members of this team are all Soul Masters. Due to the rules of the Great Soul Battlefield, I can only let the Soul Master level team fight with them. As a result, even the crazy battle team secretly cultivated by our Great Soul Battlefield was defeated very easily. If it continues, it won't be long before my Great Soul Battlefield will be closed down." The middle-aged man said with a sad face. "Oh, then you want." Mukin pondered in silence, and had guessed what the middle-aged man meant. "The 7 of them have extraordinary fighting power. I want to let the 7 of them form a team and fight against that Spirit Master team. I originally thought that it would be impossible to persuade them to join forces, but I didn't expect that the 7 of them were actually a team." The middle-aged man said happily. "What are the benefits? If we help you fight, what benefits can you give us?" Mu Chen asked straight to the point. If you agree to fight, we in Soto City are willing to give each of you present a reward of 50,000 gold spirit coins. If you can defeat the opponent, there will be a generous reward. The middle-aged man said. 50,000. 50,000. 50,000, Ma Hongjun, Oscar, and Tang San all exclaimed excitedly. Yes, 50,000. If you win, the reward will double. The middle-aged man said generously again. Okay, deal. Mu Chen responded. Okay, then let them get ready quickly. The middle-aged man said happily. Who said I let the 7 of them go on the field? Mu Chen raised a curve at the corner of his mouth. There is someone he needs to meet. If the 7 of them are not allowed to play, who will play? The middle-aged man asked in astonishment. Me. Mukin said. You. The glasses worn by the middle-aged man were about to fall to the ground. Yes. Mukin nodded. Are you kidding? The middle-aged man still questioned. Do you think I'm kidding? Mukin asked back. Dear team leader, you may not know one thing. The reason why the Berserker team lost is because of the difference in spirit rings. Everyone in that Spirit Master team has the best spirit ring configuration. The middle-aged man reminded. I know. Mukin said lightly, seeing that the person in charge of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena still had a questioning look on his face. Ma Hongjun patted him on the shoulder and said, Don't worry, my boss Mu's strength is not a problem for one person to fight 7 people, let alone 10 people. Mu Chen did not continue to explain. He touched the ring storage soul guide with his fingers, flicked his fingers, took out a silver thing from it, threw it to a young lady next to the middle-aged man, and ordered, Sign up for me. Silver. Silver Fighting Soul Badge. You. Are you the young man from a few months ago? That the young lady and the person in charge of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena looked at Mukin in shock. Have I impressed you so much? Mukin said proudly, this bully still has to pretend. Mu Chen didn't know his brilliant record. In just a few days, through the mode of gambling and death fighting, he upgraded from the Iron Fighting Soul Badge to the Silver Fighting Soul Badge, but created a record in the Great Fighting Soul Arena and even the entire Soul Master world. A new record that no one can break. Ding dong. Get the E-level hidden task, molest Yi Lenglang and Du Guyen. The more times you molest, the richer the reward you will get in the end. Fuck, system, you want me to be a bad guy again? Mukin was surprised. Ding dong. The system detects that the host has a strong resistance to the task triggered this time. Do you want to give up the task? Will there be a punishment for giving up the task? Mukin asked. Giving up the task will not have any punishment. Within a month, you will definitely not get any tasks. The system responded. Molestation of Yi Lenglang and Du Guyu. Yi Lenglang is fine, but Du Guyen is the granddaughter of Poison Douluo. System, you let me molest Du Guyen, do you want me to be poisoned to death by Poison Douluo? Mukin was proud in his heart, but he asked like this. It's obvious that he got the advantage and still acted cute. Host, do you want to give up the task? The system asked again. There's no need to give up the mission. I'm not interested in molesting them. I just want to experience life. I want to try out Poison Douluo's poison to see if it can kill me. Chapter 72, Becoming Stronger, Extremely Simple Practice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Name, Mukin, age, 12 years old, level 50, 180750/250750, martial soul, chaos sword, soul rings, purple, black, soul skills, melody of the awakening earth, roar of flame, sigh of the ice and snow goddess, wrath of thunder, wind blade, skill points, 138 points, magical powers, 3 Magatama Sharingan. Self-created soul skills, 8 extreme collapse, secondary dark power, 1000 years of killing, blowing fire palm, entry level, suction palm, entry level, wind. God Leg, First Style, Catching Wind and Shadows, Sky Frost Fist, Cloud Sweeping Palm, Fire Style Great Fireball Technique. Items, 100,009 Detonating Talismans, 1 Sleeve Arrow, 10 Iron Lotuses, 199 Smoke Bombs, Xiantian Gong, Purple Demon Eye, Xuanyu Hand, Crane Control and Dragon Capture, Ghost Shadow, 9 Inner Pills that can obtain a 30,000-year Soul Ring, and 9 Inner Pills that can obtain a 50,000-year Soul Ring, Soul Bone, External Soul Bone, 8 Spider Spear, Money, 16,810,000 Gold. Soul Coins. After more than 20 consecutive days of betting on 7 games a day, Mtlnovel now has 16,810,000 gold soul coins. Mtlnovel can now buy a third-rate city and become the city lord himself. Not only Mtlnovel, but also Flanders and other teachers of Shrek Academy, who followed Mtlnovel to bet, have become rich people. Since you want to experience life and face the star fighting team, it is necessary to improve the proficiency of related skills. Now Mtlnovel has accumulated 138 skill points. 3 Magatama Sharingan is enough. Since we are experiencing life, well, system, improve the proficiency of Blowing Fire Palm. Mtlnovel ordered. Ding dong. The host's proficiency of Blowing Fire Palm is at the entry level. If you want to upgrade to the small success level, you need to consume a little skill point. Do you want to continue to improve the proficiency of Blowing Fire Palm? Continue. Mtlnovel responded without hesitation. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have deepened your understanding of Blowing Fire Palm by consuming a little skill point. The proficiency of Blowing Fire Palm has reached the small success level. Continue to improve. Mtlnovel ordered. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have deepened your understanding of Blowing Fire Palm by consuming 4 skill points. The proficiency of Blowing Fire Palm has reached the great success level. Continue. Mtlnovel ordered again. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have spent 10 skill points to deepen your understanding of the Blowing Fire Palm. Your proficiency in the Blowing Fire Palm has reached the state of great perfection. The proficiency of the skills and combat techniques is divided into entry level, minor success, major success, and great perfection from low to high. As the 3 system voices fell, 3 warm currents flowed into Mtnovel's mind one after another, and Mtlnovel felt as if he had been enlightened. Mtnovel's understanding of the Blowing Fire Palm has been raised from entry level to the state of great perfection. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have spent 10 skill points to deepen your understanding of the Suction Palm. Your proficiency in the Suction Palm has reached the state of great perfection. Then Mtlnovel spent a total of 15 skill points, and also raised the Suction Palm, a magical skill for picking up girls, to the state of great perfection. So Mtlnovel has 108 skill points left. What skills should I improve next? Yao Chen read the personal information template, pondered for a while, and said, System, improve the proficiency of the first style of the Wind God Leg. Ding dong. The host's proficiency of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows, is at the entry level. If you want to improve it to the small success level, you need to consume 10 skill points. Do you want to continue to improve your proficiency in the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows? Continue. Chen responded. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have consumed 10 skill points and deepened your understanding of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows. The proficiency of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows, has reached the small success level. Continue. Chen ordered again. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have spent 20 skill points to deepen your understanding of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows. The proficiency of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows, has reached the state of great perfection. Continue. Ding dong. Congratulations, you have spent 50 skill points to deepen your understanding of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows. The proficiency of the first style of the Wind God Leg, Catching the Wind and Shadows, has reached the state of great perfection. If I can beat you, I will fight. If I can't beat you, I will run. The first style of the Wind God Leg is a must-have skill for home and travel. The Wind God Leg has a total of 6 styles, but Mukun only improved the first style. That was intentional. Nia Feng studied the Wind God Leg and developed catching the wind and shadows to the extreme, which was faster and more elusive, and was called stepping wind and shadow. System, who is faster, my current speed or Nia Feng's? Mukun asked curiously. Ding dong, the system reports to the host. The host's first move of the Wind God Leg has now reached the state of great perfection, which means that it has been developed to the extreme. In terms of proficiency alone, you and Nia Feng are on par. The system responded. Dear players, are you all okay? Please ask Team 9527 and Team Royal Fight to enter the ring and prepare to start the game. While waiting, the announcer's voice came from the speakers in the player waiting area. Mu Chen closed the player information that the person in charge of the Great Fighting Soul Arena secretly gave him. The information inside is very detailed, not only with the introduction of the player's martial spirit, soul skills and soul rings, but also with information related to the player's family background. Boss Mu, do you really want to go on stage alone and fight 7 people alone? Tang San asked. Why, don't you have confidence in me? Mukun asked. Boss Mu, you misunderstood. What I mean is that this time the opponent is very difficult. We are following your words and putting all our belongings on you. If we lose this game, I'm afraid we will have to eat radishes like Xiao Wu tomorrow. Xiao San, how can you talk like that? Xiao Wu heard Tang San's words and said in a serious tone, radishes are so delicious, healthy and nutritious. Why do radishes seem like food for poor people when they enter your mouth? Mu Chen gently patted Tang San's shoulder and said, don't be afraid, I'll do it. You just wait here to collect the money. Mu Chen smiled and ignored the people in the room. He turned and walked towards the large fighting spirit arena in the central area. When he came to the arena, 7 people were already standing opposite him: Yu Tianheng, Captain, Martial Spirit Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex, 39th level Strong Attack System Battle Spirit Master, Duguian, Deputy Captain, Spirit of the Green Phosphorus Snake, Level 38 Control System Soul Master, Oslo, Team Member, Spirit of the Ghost Leopard, 36 Strategies Agile Attack System Soul Master. Yi Lengleng, Team Member, Spirit of the 9 Heart Begonia, Level 35 Auxiliary Weapon Soul Master, Shimo, Team Member, Spirit of the Black Tortoise, Level 37 Defense System Soul Master, Shurimo, Team Member, Spirit of the Black Tortoise, Level 38 Defense System Soul Master. Yufeng, Team Member, Spirit of the Wind Bell Bird, Level 36 Agile Attack System Soul Master. The relevant information of the 7 people in front of him emerged in Mukun's mind. It can be said that the royal fighting team in front of him is a perfect match. Defense, assistance, strong attack, and agile attack are all there, which is a very reasonable combination arrangement. Chapter 73, Cool, 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 Cool to the Extreme. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mu Chen's eyes began to fall on Doupo Yen. Short purple hair, green triangular snake pupils. Doupo Yan's martial soul is the green phosphorus snake, and as a snake martial soul, it should not be controlled. Doupo Yen can control it, which means that the opponent's poison ability is very strong. Mu Chen has the external soul bone 8 spider lance, relying on the swallowing ability of the 8 spider lance, which makes Mu Chen almost immune to all poisons. Then, Much Chen's eyes fell on Yi Lengleng. Slender figure, a waterfall-like blue hair draped behind the back, dark blue pupils. Dressed in black, with a layer of black veil on the face, familiar with the storyline of Douluo, Much Chen knows that Yi Lengleng's martial soul 9 heart begonia, no matter how many soul rings are attached, there will be only one soul skill in the end, that is, group range treatment. The degree of treatment is controlled by the soul master's mind. The higher the level, the more soul rings, and the more soul power used for treatment. With the soul master of 9 heart begonia, it is not easy to die even if you want to. Finally, Mukun's eyes fell on Yu Tianheng, who had the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex spirit. Mukin had no experience fighting against spirit masters with lightning attributes, let alone a top-level beast spirit like the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex. One person. One person. Team 9527, just one person, that the audience was extremely surprised. On the opposite side of the royal fighting battle, there was just one person standing. It's really just one person. I thought the information of the players given to me by the Great Fighting Soul Arena was wrong and they were hiding it from us. It turns out that the opponent is really one person. Yu Tianheng, the captain of the royal fighting team, raised his mouth with contempt and said proudly, "Sure mo, sure mo. He is in your hands. Don't worry, Captain. The two of us can definitely defeat him." The brothers Sure mo and Sure mo, who have the black tortoise, smiled confidently. It seems that I made the right bet again in this game. The opponent of the royal fighting team is just one person. Could it be that the Great Fighting Soul Arena wants to give us money? Some viewers couldn't help but smile. Welcome everyone to the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena. It's an honor to meet all the distinguished guests. I am the host of the group Fighting Soul tonight, your Doudu. Now, each contestant has 1 minute to summon your martial soul. When I announce the start, you can attack the other party. The game ends when one party admits defeat and all fall down or fall off the Fighting Soul stage. Now start to release your martial soul. As soon as the host finished speaking, the captain of the royal fighting team, Yu Tianheng, did not move. Only two defensive soul masters, the brothers Sure mo and Sure mo, released their black tortoises. The degree of contempt for Mukin can be seen. Release your martial soul. Sure mo urged. I don't need to use martial soul to deal with the seven of you. Mukin said lightly. What? So arrogant? Sure mo raised his eyebrows and looked at Mukin with contempt. Host, announced the start. I guess the others don't want to release their martial spirits either. Mukin urged. Perhaps in the eyes of the people fighting in the royal fight, relying on the hearts of Sure mo and Sure mo, they can defeat Mukin in front of them. Okay. I announced the start of the game. The host said loudly, the third soul skill, the black turtle attacks, Sure mo and Sure mo, the two brothers, moved their minds and were very tacit. The green turtle shell behind them, like a thrown flying knife, rotated and attacked Mukin. There are barbs like hedgehogs on the turtle shell, and the rotation speed is very fast. If it were a general soul master of the soul master level, once it was attacked, even if it didn't die, it would be seriously injured. Wind God Leg, when the turtle shell was about to attack Mukin, Mukin's mind moved, and the person had disappeared on the spot. Where is the person? Where is the person? Sure mo and Sure mo looked shocked. Then, Duguyen felt that there was an illusion of something soft passing over his face. Not only Duguyen, but also Yi Lengleng felt a strange touch. It started on the body, and then turned to the face. In a few breaths, Yi Lengleng felt a chill on her face, and the veil covering her face slipped down. What a fast speed! Yu Tianheng frowned. Everything was done in just a few breaths. By the time everyone reacted, Mukin had returned to the original place. Yi Lengleng covered her cheeks, and not only was the veil removed, but there was also some black ink on her face. She asked, "What did you do to me?" Mukin looked at Yi Lengleng and smiled. "I was wondering why you were wearing a veil. It turns out that you were writing on your face." Writing. Yi Lengleng frowned slightly, and quickly took out a mirror from the storage soul guide, and was dumbfounded. I saw that on Yi Lengleng's face, there were 4 big words written, I love Mukin. I love Mukin. I love Mukin. I love Mukin. Everyone looked at Yi Lengleng in silence, not noticing Yi Lengleng's delicate face like a porcelain doll, but was attracted by the 4 words on her pretty face. Those 4 words were I love Mukin. What's your name? You are so brave to express your love so boldly. Just don't be so obsessed with me, I'm just a legend. However, the key person in all these pranks looked at Yi Lengleng with a chuckle. Who likes to be obsessed with you? Yi Lengleng frowned and shouted anxiously. The words on her face really made her speechless. With complicated emotions, she could only angrily say, "Why don't you help me teach him a lesson?" Buzz, seeing his partner being bullied, even Yu Tianheng, who was extremely proud in his heart, summoned his martial spirit, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex. "I declare that the winner of this game is Team 9527. But it didn't matter. Before the members of the Star Do team launched the second wave of attacks, the host Do's voice suddenly rang out. "It's over," Yu Tianheng frowned and asked, "Host, what are you talking about? How can the game end like this?" The host pointed at Doupo Yan behind Yu Tianheng and said, "Because your team has admitted defeat." "Admit defeat? Admit defeat? Admit defeat?" Yu Tianheng and everyone else looked at Doupo Yan. The next second, their eyes were dull. Just now, everyone's eyes were attracted by Yi Lengleng, ignoring the existence of Doupo Yan. When they looked at Doupo Yan, they found 3 words written on Doupo Yan's forehead: "I give up." Yu Tianheng's breathing became very solemn. In the short 1 or 2 seconds just now, Mu Chen not only left 4 big words on Yi Lengleng's face, but also left 3 big words on Doupo Yan's body. Of course, Yu Tianheng and others didn't know that Mu Chen also took advantage of Yi Lengleng and Doupo Yu to take advantage of them. Soul power plus 6,000 points, due to Mu Chen's dozens of times of molestation, plus the anger of Yi Lengleng and Doupo Yan at this time. Mu Chen harvested a total of 6,000 points of emotion value. To upgrade, Mu Chen still needs 79,000 soul power points. Chapter 74 Special Reward. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yan, you. The members of the royal fighting team looked at Doupo in surprise and confusion. Doupo looked puzzled, and then took the mirror thrown by Yi Lengleng. Looking at the appearance in the mirror, Doupo was stunned at first, and then said angrily, I didn't admit defeat. This doesn't count, these are the words he wrote on my face. Hearing Doupo's words, the people around sighed. Doudu, as the host, looked at Yu Tianheng and had to ask again, as the captain of the royal fighting team and the host, I need to ask you solemnly, do you want to continue the game? Continue. Yu Tianheng did not hesitate at all. The young man in front of him left those words on the faces of the 2 sisters in his team, which made him, the captain, lose face. Yu Tianheng has decided that he must teach the young man in front of him a lesson that he will remember for the rest of his life. Okay, in this case, the game continues. The host Doudu said again. Yufeng, Shimo, you 3 are responsible for protecting Lengleng and Yan. Just leave him to me. Yu Tianheng has decided to teach the arrogant and bold young man in front of him a lesson in a one-on-one fight. Yes. 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 Facing Yu Tianheng's words, Yufeng, Shimo, without any hesitation, formed a triangle to protect Yi Lengleng and Doupo. Light up your martial spirit. Yu Tianheng urged. You are not qualified for me to summon my martial spirit. Mtlnovel said lightly. Arrogant. In front of my blue lightning Tyrannosaurus martial spirit, you dare to be so arrogant. Let me see how long you can be arrogant. As Yu Tianheng finished speaking, the first soul ring on his body lit up with a dazzling yellow light. First soul skill Thunder Dragon Claw. An incredible scene appeared. Yu Tianheng's original human palm turned into a dragon's claw. The dragon claw surrounded by hissing thunder and lightning roared towards Mtlnovel. Wind god Yu Chen's mind moved, and he disappeared on the spot. At the same time, a strong wind was born beside the 2 brothers Shimo and Shimo. Not good. He's coming. The first soul skilled Black Tortoise Thorns, the 2 brothers Shimo and Shimo suddenly shrank their heads and shrank into the tortoise shell. Many green barbs appeared on the surface of the tortoise shell of the martial soul Black Tortoise. The first soul skill Cheetah Assault. At the same time, Yufeng, the agile attack soul master who was responsible for protecting Yi Lengleng and Doupo Yan's safety, waved his palm and attacked Mtlnovel quickly. Get out of here! Just a roar came out of Mu Chen's mouth. Immediately, the 2 brothers Shimo and Shimo, plus the agile attack soul master Yufeng, were shaken away by a terrifying blowing force. At the same time, Yilangleng and Du Guyen were surprised that they could feel their jaws and buttocks were lost again. It seemed that there was a finger sliding gently on it. Not bad, both have good figures. The voice that made Yilangleng and Duguyen furious rang in their ears. Now they finally understood why they felt itchy in their buttocks before. It turned out that they were molested by such a rogue method. Mu Chen's figure was like a ghost. Duguyen wanted to resist, but she was not at the same level as Mu Chen. Mu Chen, whose first move of the wind god leg had been raised to the extreme, was no longer at the level they could match. After a while, Mu Chen stood in front of Yilangleng and Duguyen, looked at Yilangleng and smiled evilly. If you really want to pursue me, I can consider giving you a chance. Oh, including you, Duguyen. Second soul skill Thunderbolt. A silver figure, with the power of thunder, jumped up and fell towards Mu Chen. Xian level low level fighting skill blowing fire palm. Mu Chen didn't even look at Yu Tianheng who was attacking from the left, and his palms suddenly raised. Immediately, his palms suddenly extended forward, and a terrifying wind force was born in his palm. Poor Yu Tianheng, before he could attack Mukin, he was blown back by a terrifying wind force. Since you are here, why do you want to leave? Mukin chuckled. Xian level low level fighting skill suction palm. Before Yu Tianheng landed, the strange blowing force suddenly changed into a terrifying suction force, attracting Yu Tianheng's body to Mukin. Bang! When Yu Tianheng was involuntarily sucked in front of Mukin, Mukin kicked Yu Tianheng away with a beautiful whirlwind kick. Captain! Captain! That the team members of the royal fighting battle cried out in surprise. Their captain, the soul master with the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul, could not hold out for a round in the hands of the young man in front of him. It seems that you are indeed not qualified for me to summon the martial soul. Mukin said with disdain, glancing at Yu Tianheng. Yu Tianheng was stunned. His mind suffered 10,000 critical hits. As a member of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus clan, one of the top 3 clans, he was defeated so easily. And he didn't even use his martial spirit. Invisibly, Yu Tianheng felt that his face was hit hard. No, it wasn't a slap in the face, but his pride was trampled underfoot. The other people in the royal fighting team were fine, but Du Guyen, who had a crush on Yu Tianheng, saw Yu Tianheng being kicked so hard that blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. At that moment, he no longer cared about the advice of their team leader, Qin Ming. Du Guyen's third soul ring lit up with a purple light. You! I'm going to kill you. Du Guyen was furious, and her green triangular snake pupils were emitting a cold light. Third soul skill, green phosphorus snake venom. Not good. In the audience of the contestants' relatives, Qin Ming frowned through the glass. He knew that Du Guyen's green phosphorus snake venom was a terrible poison, and even Yu Tianheng, who had the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit, did not dare to get contaminated easily. Under the effect of Du Guyen's third soul skill, the toxin worked very quickly. Once contaminated with the poison mist, it would turn into thick water in a moment. Sure enough, it was vicious and cruel. Mu Chen frowned. According to his understanding of girls, any girl like this would be more fierce in love. In vulgar words, she would become a slut in bed. Tsk. Yu Chen's mouth curled up slightly, and his pupils shone with brilliance. He was determined to accept Du Guyen. For men, there are 3 ideal standards for women: being able to walk out of the hall, good-looking enough, entering the kitchen, being virtuous and keeping the house, getting on the big bed, satisfying her husband. In Mukin's opinion, Du Guyen has been able to meet 2 major standards. A green snake quickly swam towards Mukin. When it reached a certain distance, there was a sound of thunder, and the whole green phosphorus snake turned into a ball of poisonous fog, covering Mukin. Die! Du Guyen's eyes were cold. From childhood to adulthood, Du Guyen had never been touched on the buttocks. This made her tolerate it, but this was absolutely intolerable. Especially when she saw that Yu Tianheng, whom she secretly loved, was injured. Du Guyen had become very sinister and vicious. Brother. In the audience of relatives, Xiao Wu also tightened her heart for Mukin. When everyone thought that Mukin was dead, a flame burst out from the poisonous fog. Fire style, great fireball technique. The terrible poisonous fog, like winter snow in the sun, was quickly burned away. There was a faint smell of wine in the air. Broken, Doupo Yan looked dazed. Someone actually broke her green phosphorus snake venom. Humph. Mu Chen narrowed his eyes, stared at Doupo Yan, and said lightly, "You are such a disobedient little snake. I gave you a chance to admit defeat. Are you addicted to my behavior? Impossible, how could you break my green phosphorus snake venom?" Doupo Yan was still in shock and had not recovered. The green phosphorus snake venom that she had always been proud of was actually broken so easily by someone, without causing any impact on the other party. "Well, since you are addicted, I will give you a special reward." Mu Chen ignored Doupo Yan's shock, moved his body, and disappeared on the spot. Disappeared again, Doupo Yan's pupils shrank, and he subconsciously alerted his surroundings. Behind her, air flow was created by the movement of her body. Then, a sour and spicy feeling came from her shameful buttocks. Secret Technique, Millennium Kill. Chapter 75 Low-Level Evolution Card. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Doupo Yan's ecstatic voice rang loudly in the great soul fighting arena. Doupo Yan's whole figure flew up like an arrow. You. Doupo Yan covered his buttocks with both hands, his face turned red and furious, and the soul power fluctuations in his body became extremely chaotic. Soul power plus 19,000 points, because Doupo Yan was full of anger, his emotions were very strong. Mu Chen suddenly gained 19,000 points of soul power. There are still 60,000 points left before the upgrade. Mu Chen was overjoyed. If he could increase his soul power by 1 level before entering the killing city, it would definitely be a happy thing. You. Shameless, Doupo Yan was so angry that he ran away. The first soul skill, Jade Phosphorus Red Poison, the red poisonous mist seeped out from Doupo Yan's body. Doupo Yan's whole body began to become excited, and his speed and attack power suddenly increased by 20%. Boo-hoo-hoo. Doupo Yan violently attacked Mu Chen, however, Doupo Yan's speed still couldn't keep up with Mu Chen, who used the function kick. Not only did he not attack Mu Chen, but Mu Chen took the opportunity to take advantage of him. Your body is fragrant. Is this because you possess the Jade Phosphorus Snake martial spirit? That during the battle, Mu Chen's flirtatious words rang in Doupo Yan's ears from time to time, irritating Doupo Yan even more. If you have the guts, don't hide, and fight me openly. Doupo Yan said angrily. Okay, as you wish. Mu Chen said. As soon as he finished speaking, Doupo Yan sensed another figure appearing behind him. She was stunned in her heart, but if she realized something, she secretly said, "Not good." Secret skill 1000-year kill. Yes, Doupo Yan was lost again. The whole person flew out again. Soul power plus 4,800 points. Due to Doupo Yan's shame and anger, Mu Chen gained another 4,800 points of soul power. You. Doupo Yan pointed at Mu Chen and was so angry that he couldn't speak. Just as she took a step forward, Mu Chen's words made her shiver all over. Have you thought about continuing to fight me? There was a mocking arc on Mu Chen's lips. Well, Doupo Yan was shocked. Even if she tried her best, she still couldn't do anything to the peers in front of her. Could it be that he was sent to the door again and suffered from the other party's strange attack methods? Doupo Yan, who was unable to defeat Mu Chen again and again, was furious and said angrily, "Do you only know this one move? Of course it's more than that. I just used other tricks, and what if I hurt you?" Mu Chen replied seriously. "Boy, if you dare to bully our vice-captain, you'll get punched by our brother." At this time, the two brothers Shuremo and Shuremo had already arrived at Mu Chen's side. His fist was covered by the basalt turtle shell and he hit Mu Chen hard. "Come again." Mu Chen raised his eyebrows slightly and punched one of them. Xian-level advanced fighting skills, bajabang, boom boom. 2 muffled thunder sounded in succession, and a terrifying force pushed Shuremo and one of the Shuremo brothers back. Almost at the same time, Mu Chen, who used the function leg, easily dodged another person's attack. Your speed and strength are good, but you are not qualified to defeat the two of us. Sure Mo, who was knocked back by Mu Chen's punch, said in a very contemptuous tone. Although Mu Chen pushed him away, he didn't suffer much damage. Really? Mu Chen smiled slightly and ordered in his heart, System, improve Baji Beng's proficiency. Ding dong. To improve the proficiency of Baji Beng to the 3rd level of dark energy, you need to consume 4 skill points. Do you want to continue? Continue. Ding dong. Congratulations, you spent 4 skill points to improve Baji Beng's proficiency. Come again if you have the guts. Mu Chen said. Won't you hide if you have the guts? Sure Mo replied. Okay, I won't hide this time. Mu Chen nodded. Okay, let's do it again. Sure Mo smiled confidently and looked at each other with his brother Sure Mo. The second soul skill, Black Turtle Fist, the 2 brothers Sure Mo and Sure Mo, the second soul rings around their bodies, lit up with yellow light. The soul power surged and condensed into green turtle shells on their fists. Xian-level advanced fighting skills, Bajibang. Facing the incoming fist, Mu Chen seriously stopped using the function kick to dodge and punched it. Boom boom boom, click, faintly, there were 3 bursts of dark energy. And there was the sound of something breaking. Call, the 2 brothers Sure Mo and Sure Mo, who were originally full of confidence, flew backwards behind them. The turtle shell that originally covered the fist shattered into countless fragments. This. That the 2 brothers Sure Mo and Sure Mo had blood bleeding from the corners of their mouths and looked at Mu Chen with dull eyes. A moment ago, they were mocking Mu Chen for his power. At this moment, they were punched by Mu Chen and flew backwards. Their blood was boiling with shock, and blood spilled from the corners of their mouths. Slap in the face. Invisibly, the 2 brothers Sure Mo and Sure Mo felt their faces being hit. The second soul skill, Cheetah Sprint. Call out. A sound of breaking wind sounded. Right now it's a fighting spirit. On one side, Yu Feng, a spirit master of the agility attack system, ran like the wind, his claws turned into leopard claws, and he swatted at Mu Chen. Aeolian legs. Bang. Mu Chen didn't even look at it, and completely relied on his body's reaction to easily avoid Yu Feng's sneak attack. At the same time, he kicked Yu Feng back with a beautiful whirlwind kick. Puff. Yu Feng landed on the ground and spit out a large mouthful of blood. This might be Much Chen's punishment for his sneak attack. Dugu Yen, do you understand now? Mu Chen's eyes fell on Dugu Yen. Understand? What did Much Chen want Dugu Yen to understand? Dugu Yen was confused and no longer questioned Much Chen's words just now. The reason why Much Chen didn't use other soul skills was that he was really afraid of hurting her. Immediately, Much Chen glanced at the injured Yu Feng. In that situation just now, Much Chen had enough time to use the 1,000-year killing on Yu Feng, but Much Chen didn't. Much Chen continued, moreover, even if it is the 1,000-year killing, it is not a gentleness that everyone can enjoy. You are worthy of pride. Dugu Yen. Dugu Yen was speechless. Did Mukin use the 1,000 years kill on her, or did Mukin show mercy to her? Should she be happy about this? Duguyen bit her red lips with her white teeth, staring at Mukin with anger. At this moment, her buttocks were still burning. As for Mukin, he completely ignored Duguyen's eyes. But Yi Lenglang, with a strange look in his eyes, stared at Mukin. Mukin asked with a smile, "Do you want to continue?" "We admit defeat." The 2 sides were not at the same level, and Yu Tianheng, as the captain of the royal fighting team, had to admit defeat. Ding dong. Congratulations, you are awesome. You have completed the E-level hidden task perfectly, molesting Yi Lenglang and Duguyen. Obtain soul power, 30,000 points. Obtain skill points, 1 point. Ding dong. Congratulations, in view of your excellent completion of this task, the system will give you an additional reward, low-level evolution card. Low-level evolution card, after using it on some items, it can make the items evolve. Including soul rings, soul skills and soul bones. Chapter 76 Chaos 8 Wings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. System, can the evolution card be used on the 8 spider spears? Mu Chen asked. The system reports back to the host that the 8 spider spears are externally attached soul bones, and low-level evolution cards can be used on the 8 spider spears. The system responded. What about my martial spirit? Mu Chen asked again. Low-level evolution cards are not enough to evolve the martial soul. If you want the martial soul to evolve, you need to use at least a high-level evolution card. Evolution cards are divided into 4 levels: low-level, intermediate, high-level, and ultimate. The higher the level of the evolution card, the final item, the effect of being evolved will be better, the system answered. System, use the evolution card on my 8 spider spears with external soul bones. Mu Chen ordered. As Mu Chen finished speaking, the golden evolution card in the system package disappeared. A warm feeling came from his back. At the same time, the system's sound also rang. Ding dong. Congratulations, you used a low-level evolution card. The 8 spider spears evolved into the 8 wings of chaos. What? Mu Chen stopped, wondering if he had heard wrongly, and asked, System, what did you say? The 8 spider spears evolved into the 8 wings of chaos. Ding dong. Yes, host. You just used a low-level evolution card, and your external soul bone has evolved into the 8 wings of chaos. 8 wings of chaos. Mu Chen secretly wondered. Being familiar with Douluo's storyline, Mu Chen knew that when Tang San completed the 9th Poseidon examination, the 8 spider spears evolved into the Poseidon 8 wings. Now he just used a low-level evolution card, and his 8 spider spears evolved into the 8 wings of chaos in advance. Call out that Mu Chen, who was still doubting in his heart, suddenly thought, and 5 colors of yellow, red, blue, silver, and green light lit up behind him, and 8 wings as thin as cicada's wings spread out behind him. The wings are overflowing with light, emitting 5 colors of light. Stretched out, it can reach a length of 2 meters. It looks extremely dazzling. Wow! 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 Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing, Ma Hongjun and others all looked at Mu Chen in shock. Boss Mu, what soul skill is this? Can you teach me? Such a beautiful soul skill would be perfect for picking up girls, Ma Hongjun said excitedly. Mu Chen possesses many self-created soul skills. In the opinion of Shrek 7 monsters and others, this should be Mu Chen's latest self-created soul skill. As a man, Ma Hongjun was attracted by such a dazzling external soul bone, let alone the 3 women Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong. Hearing what Ma Hongjun said, Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong all looked at Mu Chen with excitement. I hope Mu Chen can also teach them this dazzling soul skill. Fat man, what are you talking about? This is my external soul bone. Mu Chen said. External soul bone. Ma Hongjun questioned, isn't your external soul bone the 8 spider spear? How come it turned into wings? Because it has evolved. Mu Chen replied. Evolution. 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 The Shrek 7 monsters, Flanders, Zhao Wuji and other Shrek Academy teachers all looked at Mu Chen in surprise. They were surprised that the soul bone could still evolve. Well, although I don't know what happened, my soul bone did evolve when I fought with the Imperial fighter team just now. Mu Chen replied simply. Regarding the system, Muken did not intend to let his friends know about it. Even if you don't tell them, what's the point? Who doesn't have a little secret in their heart? Boss Mu, you are really a monster. Dai Mubai also said enviously. We are monsters to begin with. Mu Chen said. Boss Mu, you. Dai Mubai was speechless. Mu Chen was pretending too quickly. Mu Chen, what abilities does the 8 spider spears have after evolution? Flanders, the dean of Shrek Academy, asked curiously. Not only Flanders, but also the teachers at Shrek Academy, including the Shrek 7 devils, looked at Mu Chen expectantly. Especially Tang San, his external soul bone is also the 8 spider spear, Mu Chen replied. The evolved 8 wings of chaos have inherited the strengthening and swallowing abilities of the 8 spider spears. They can swallow the opponent's soul power and 100% replenish their own soul power consumption, and are poisonous. The original 8 spider spears strengthened all status 50%, increased to 100%. 100%. Flanders exclaimed, improving all statuses by 100% means that Mu Chen's resistance to various elements and the attack power of various elements will increase by 100% in the future. It is equivalent to having twice the combat power. Yes. In addition, it also gives me the ability to fly from now on. The speed is about 10 times that of the crested snake. And the time is unlimited. Mu Chen then explained again. What? 10 times the flying speed of a cockatoo? And there's no time limit, but even though Flanders was a soul saint in his 70s, he still looked at Mu Chen in great shock. The flying ability of the 8 wings of chaos is so terrifying. Mu Chen nodded and further speculated that the reason why the 8 spider spears, which had not yet completed the 9 chaos tests and had evolved in advance, could achieve such terrifying speed may be related to his 5th soul ring, the enhanced wind attribute spiritual root. You smile so brightly, does it have other magical powers? Flanders' sharp eyes noticed the slightly raised corners of Mu Chen's mouth. In addition, the 8 wings of chaos have completely eliminated the shortcomings of using externally attached soul bones. Mu Chen said. You mean, even if you take back the soul bone, it won't reduce the soul power by 1/3? Flanders' eyes were brightened. If this is true, then Muken's Chaos 8 wings will be a perfect external soul bone. Yes. Muken nodded. Hearing Muken's admission, the Shrek 7 devils and others exclaimed. Especially Tang San, he also has an external soul bone. Tang San knows that once the external soul bone is used, when the soul master wants to take it back, his own soul power will be reduced by 1/3. However, Muken's Chaos 8 wings in front of him no longer has this shortcoming. Xiao San, what are you in a daze? Flanders gently patted Tang San's shoulder and said, and you guys? You are actually very good. Among your peers, your cultivation talent is so strong that you can be called a monster. You just met a perverted Muken. You can use Muken as a role model, but don't compare with Muken. Because, he is a pervert. Muken was stunned and rolled his eyes at Flanders. In fact, Flanders and others didn't know that Muken hadn't finished speaking yet. In addition to these magical powers, the 8 spider lance also has a greatly improved defense. In addition, the wings are like blades, with a cutting ability that cannot be ignored. The evolved 8 spider lance can already be called a divine weapon. When Muken and others just walked out of the great fighting spirit arena, they were stopped by 3 people. 2 old men and 1 young man. Dragon Man. Snake Woman. Flanders was surprised. Chapter 77 Departure to the City of Slaughter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. While in the Star Forest, Mu Chen invited Meng Yiran twice and persuaded Meng Yiran to enter Shrek Academy. At that time, Duke Long and Lady Snake expressed their opinions that they needed to think about it. You need to go to the Alien Beast Academy where Meng Yiran is and discuss it with the Alien Beast Academy. Now that Duke Long and Snake Lady, together with Meng Yiran, appeared waiting at the gate of the Great Soul Fighting Arena so coincidentally, the matter must have come to an end. 2 seniors, you are here, have you already thought it through? Flanders stepped forward and already learned what happened from Zhao Wuji's mouth. Now he looked at the unparalleled dragon and snake couple expectantly. Duke Long and Lady Snake looked at each other. As the backbone of the family, Duke Long stepped forward, walked up to Mu Chen and said, yes, we have thought about it carefully. And we have received the approval of the Alien Beast Academy where we are still, and agreed to study at Shrek Academy. It's just that the information about the Alien Beast Academy must be written on the personal resume that will participate in the All-Continent Elite Soul Master competition in the future. Okay. We agree to this condition. Mu Chen nodded, stretched out his hand towards Meng Yiran, and said, Meng Yiran, Shrek Academy welcomes you to join. Meng Yiran politely stretched out his hand and shook it with Muken. Thinking of the scene that happened in the Star Do Forest, she could still remember the scene from the past. He noticed that she was holding that sinful hand affectionately at this moment. Pretty Face blushed. Especially since she once competed with Mu Chen for the second time, but lost to Mu Chen in the end and had to kiss Mu Chen on the face. Thinking of this, Meng Yiran's face turned bright red and he hesitated. I just wanted to become stronger and defeat a bad guy like you, so I joined Shrek Academy. You, don't think wrong. Mu Chen smiled, glanced at Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong beside him, and said, "It's okay, I won't think wrong. You are not the only one who wants to defeat me." "I'm not the only one." "What do you mean?" Meng Yiran looked confused, looking at Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong, thoughtfully, and said in disbelief, "Could it be that you two also?" Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong did not respond. Their blushing cheeks were already telling Meng Yiran the answer, Flanders. Flender was stunned. Why did he feel that Mu Chen was the dean of Shrek Academy? The matter of Meng Yiran entering Shrek Academy is none of his business. Flanders didn't care. At a young age, Meng Yiran's soul power has reached over 30 levels, and his talent is not inferior to that of the oldest Dai Mubai. As long as he is well cultivated, he will definitely become the 9th monster of Shrek Academy. Dean, Mukin walked up to Flanders and said, "I want to take them into the Killing City now." City of Killing. City of Killing. Snakepa and Long Gong looked at Mu Chen with dull, almost petrified expressions. Did they hear it correctly? Mu Chen just said that he would take the 8 Shrek monsters into the Killing City. Now? Flanders raised his eyebrows slightly and looked at Mu Chen in astonishment. Mukin nodded. Flanders said, "Don't you wait until tomorrow to set off. Your things haven't been packed yet." Mu Chen shook his head and said, "No. We are very close to the elite Soul Master competition of the continent's advanced colleges, and we must race against time. If it weren't for a few of them, I would have entered the Killing City 3 months ago. As for what needs to be dealt with, we all have money now, so we don't need to bring anything special. We can just buy it on the trip." Flanders pondered for a while, paused, and said, "Okay, be careful. Remember, you must come back alive. And you guys, you must come back alive." "Yes. Yes. Yes." The 7 Shrek monsters nodded. Mu Chen smiled and said, "Don't worry, Dean. When you come back, everyone in Shrek Academy will be a real monster." Flanders nodded expectantly. Once the Shrek 9 monsters come back, everyone will have the God of Death domain. At that time, it can indeed be called a monster. Etc. After hearing the conversation between Mukin and Flanders, Duke Long couldn't help but interrupt. "What were you talking about just now, entering the Killing City?" "Yes." Mukin nodded. Duke Long said anxiously, "Are you okay? How young are you? You don't even have the realm of Soul King, but you want to enter the Killing City. Do you know what kind of place the Killing City is?" As an 80-level Soul Douluo and one of the unparalleled dragon snakes who is famous in the Soul Master world, Duke Long knows the existence of the Killing City. He also knew very well what kind of place the Killing City was. Now, Flanders and others want to tell him that these children are about to enter a ghost place like the Killing City. The City of Killings is the most dangerous place in the list of the top 10 most dangerous places in the mainland. Rumor has it that anyone who goes in will die. So far, only 2 people have come out alive. Who said my brother has not reached the Soul King level? Xiao Wu spoke up for Mu Chen. Soul King. Dragon Palace looked at Mu Chen again and felt the fluctuation of soul power around Mu Chen. He looked extremely shocked and said, "Has your soul power reached level 50? Mu Chen smiled, which was considered as tacit agreement. Then he smiled and said, "The City of Slaughter is very special. Even a titled Douluo level warrior cannot use soul skills there. Therefore, even if you are not at the level of Soul King, as long as you have rich combat experience, you can still hope to enter the road to hell. Senior, do you remember that I said that when Ning enters Shrek Academy, I will give her a big gift?" Dragon Lord said, "Your gift, don't you mean the Killing God realm?" Mu Chen nodded and said, "Yes, this is the gift I want to give her." "No." Dragon Lord refused without thinking. "Although the Killing God realm is very attractive, if you lose your life, then you will lose everything. I will send Ning to Shrek Academy for further studies, so that she can become stronger and revitalize my family in the future, instead of letting her die. At the same time, the snake woman Chao Tianxiang also nodded in agreement. Seeing this, Flanders habitually supported his eye sockets with his hands, showing such a cunning smile, and said, Mu Chen, if you don't let him see the magic of your things, he will not be at ease to hand over his granddaughter to you. Things? What things? Dragon Duke looked at Mu Chen curiously. The sleeve arrow that Mu Chen gave to Meng Yiran was indeed a good thing. In the eyes of Long Gong, could it be that this young man in front of him has other magical things? Okay. Mu Chen nodded, and with a thought, a small note with the word explosion written on it, wrapped in a dagger, was taken out by Mu Chen from the storage soul guide. Swish. Mu Chen waved his hand and threw the dagger in his hand. Explosion, Mu Chen muttered. With a bang, accompanied by a thunder, a huge stone at the gate of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena was actually exploded into a pile of powder. This. Dragon Duke looked at everything in front of him in surprise. I still have a lot of these things. Seniors, are you still worried now? Mu Chen asked with a smile. Dragon Duke said nothing and looked at the snake woman. Seeing the snake woman nod, he finally compromised and said, Okay, I allow you to bring Iran into the killing city. You should have been so straightforward a long time ago. Mu Chen smiled and said, Don't worry, seniors, since it is a gift for Iran, it will definitely not harm Iran's life. In 2 years, I will definitely send a complete granddaughter to you two elders. Okay, let's go to the killing city. Chapter 78 The Expectations of the Dragon King and the Snake Queen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Flanders looked at the Shrek 9 monsters walking away and murmured, The child has grown up. Zhao Wuji also looked at the backs of the 9 people going away and sighed, Yes, they have grown up. Flanders continued, I have a feeling that in 10 years, the continent will tremble because of him. The future Soul Master world will be their world. 2 seniors, you let your granddaughter enter our academy. In addition to liking our Shrek Academy, there may be other reasons, right? Flanders heard from Zhao Wuji that he had been involved with the other party twice. The last time, Long Gong didn't want to give up the human-faced demon spider. It was not until Mukun and Long Gong told Long Gong about Tang San's life experience that Long Gong finally admitted his weakness and compromised and gave up the human-faced demon spider. Although Shrek Academy has Flanders and Yu Xiaojiang, it is not enough for this Soul Douluo who is famous in the Soul Master world to send his precious granddaughter to Shrek Academy from afar. Obviously, Long Gong and Shipa must have other wishes in their hearts. Long Gong was not pretentious. He stroked his beard and replied, These children are very talented and will definitely become titled Douluo in the future. In life, circles are very important. Whether the things between them succeed or not, it will be very beneficial to my Iran and my family in the future. To put it bluntly, Long Gong felt that these children would become titled Douluo in the future, and wanted Meng Yiran to have a deep relationship with these children in advance. Flender had some guesses about this. But Flender did not expect that from the meaning of Long Gong's voice, he was also interested in matching Meng Yiran with one of his students, hoping that the 2 sides could get married. Thinking of Tang San's identity, Flender paused, showing an understanding look, and said, Indeed, with his identity, if I had a daughter, I would definitely let her marry him. His father is a man who dares to beat even the Pope. Even some titled Douluo-level figures dare not provoke him. Who are you talking about who dares to beat even the Pope? Long Gong asked puzzledly. Senior, the person you just pointed out is not Tang San. Flanders asked doubtfully. Among the Shrek 9 devils, apart from Tang San, who else is worthy of Long Gong Meng Shu's kneeling and licking? Tang San. Long Gong raised his eyebrows and said, Tang San is indeed a rare talent, and the background behind him is also very terrifying. But his father has a grudge with the Spirit Hall. If not, I would be willing to marry him. Compared with Tang San, I prefer the child named Mukun. That child has a good talent and can be called a generation of genius in 10 years, no, 1,000 years. He has a clean background and has no enemies with others. He can practice well. Unfortunately, he refuses to join my family. Long Gong and Shipo looked at each other with regret. If Mukin could join their family, he would definitely be able to take their family to a new level. In their opinion, although Tang San's qualifications are good, there is still a big gap compared to Mukin. Compared with Tang San, Mukin has not offended any forces. This is something Tang San did not have. Zhao Wuji smiled when he heard it. Two seniors, I'm afraid your original intention will be in vain. Why? Why? Long Gong and Shipa asked with concern. Zhao Wuji pointed at Xiao Wu's back and said, to be honest with you, the little girl named Xiao Wu and Mukin are in love. If nothing unexpected happens, they will be husband and wife in the future. Long Gong smiled when he heard it. Shipa smiled at Long Gong and followed him. Zhao Wuji looked puzzled and said, two seniors, is there anything wrong with what I said? Long Gong stroked his beard and smiled, I thought it was something else. Isn't it just that you already have someone you like? Is it still a rare thing for a person to have two wives in our world? Ah. Zhao Wuji, Flanders, and the other three teachers of Shrek who were present all looked at Long Gong in surprise. Lord Long actually doesn't mind his precious granddaughter sharing a husband with another woman in the future. The snake woman also smiled and said, okay, old man. Children and grandchildren have their own blessings. Whether they can be together in the future depends on their own blessings. Being able to be with these little monsters has achieved our original intention. The Shrek 9 monsters, who had already walked away, didn't know the conversation of the adults here. Especially Mengyiran, if he knew the expectations of his grandpa and grandma, it is hard to imagine whether he would be so ashamed that he wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. 3 months later, Mukin led the Shrek 8 monsters with a map in his hand. The map was given to Mukin by Flanders. Flanders was just a soul saint without any family background. Mukin guessed that this map was most likely from Tang Hao's hands. The map was very accurate, and it clearly indicated some villages and towns where they could settle along the way. It took 3 months for the Shrek 9 monsters to finally cross a deadwood forest and arrive at a dark and depressing town. The town was not only dark and depressing, but also had a faint smell of blood in the air. There were few pedestrians in the town, and they all looked ferocious. According to the map, this town is the entrance to the killing city. Mu Chen put away the map, looked around, looked at Ning Rongrong with a nervous look, and asked with concern, Rongrong, what's wrong? Ning Rongrong hugged her chest with both hands and replied, it's a bit cold. I feel uncomfortable here. Mu Chen looked at Xiao Wu, Zhu Zhuqing and Mengyiran, who were also girls. Zhu Zhuqing and Mengyiran, perhaps because of their martial spirits, did not feel uncomfortable with the dark and depressing atmosphere of the town. As for Xiao Wu, she was originally a 100,000-year-old soul beast, and had seen a lot of fighting and killing, so she naturally did not feel any discomfort. Tang San, Dai Mubai, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun, as men, were bolder. Not as obvious as Ning Rongrong, their eyes still looked around very cautiously, always on guard. Let's go to the hotel in the town first. Mukin said lightly. The town was not big, and soon Mukin and others came to a small hotel with a closed door and a windmill in the yard. There were many guests in the hotel. It was obviously broad daylight, but candles were lit, making the hotel full of a weird atmosphere. There were many guests in the hotel, and most people had only cups filled with a red liquid on their tables. When they drank the liquid in the cup, they showed a look of satisfaction and excitement. Stepping into this place, Mukin had the illusion that he was in a 20th-century opium den. Chapter 79 Ning Rongrong, you always bully me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What do you want? The hotel waiter asked lazily. Give us 9 cups of underworld dew. Mu Chen responded. The 9 Shrek monsters were all wearing black cloaks. As they got closer, the hotel waiter could see their faces clearly. Mu Chen's slightly childish voice also attracted the attention of several villains on the surrounding tables. The waiter said mockingly, are you sure? Mukin nodded. After a while, the waiter brought 9 glasses of red liquid. What is this? Ning Rongrong asked curiously. Drink it. Mu Chen ordered. After saying this, Mu Chen set an example and drank the red liquid in the cup in one gulp. The taste is very fishy and not very tasty. Soul power plus 100. After drinking a cup of underworld, Mu Chen found that his soul power had increased by 100 points. Ning Rongrong, Doupo Yan, Zhu Zhuqing, Xiao Wu and others saw Mu Chen drinking the strange liquid, and they also drank the liquid in the cup in front of them. Ning Rongrong brought the liquid to her nose and sniffed gently. A very strong smell of blood made her frown. Seeing his friends around him drinking the dew, he had no choice but to follow suit and drink up the dew. Pooh, the bright red liquid had just entered her throat, and the nauseating feeling made Ning Rongrong feel nauseous. He spit out all the Huang Chuanlu in his mouth that he had not yet had time to swallow. What's this? Ning Rongrong frowned and looked at the cup with disgust at the small amount of Huangquandu that still remained, and asked, why does it taste so bad? Not only Ning Rongrong, but also Tang San, Doupo Yan, Dai Mubai, Oscar, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ma Hongjun all frowned. They had definitely never drunk anything worse than this. Among the 9 Shrek monsters, Xiao Wu, who was a soul beast, frowned and thought in his mind, could this be? Xiao Wu's eyes widened, during the days when she lived in the Star Do forest. Once when he was hungry and thirsty, he had no choice but to drink the blood of a dead human. So I have a very clear understanding of blood, but Xiao Wu wasn't sure whether what she drank just now was blood. After all, she had never seen the human world openly selling items like human blood. This is a cup of human blood. Mu Chen replied. What? But when Ning Rongrong heard this, he jumped up from his seat excitedly and asked in surprise, human blood? Mu Chen nodded and explained, underworld dew is a product made by refining a person's soul power and blood in a very peculiar way after defeating him. What? At this time, not only Ning Rongrong, but also Tang San, who had not experienced the strong wind and waves, as well as Doupo Yan, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar, the cups in their hands fell to the ground with a clang. Mukan looked at Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing have endured experiences that they shouldn't have to endure at their age due to family reasons. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing both came to the Tiando Empire after seeing human blood and killing many people themselves. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing also had shocked expressions on their faces, but compared to the other members of the Shrek 9 monsters, they were relatively calm. Where did this chick come from? Go home. Xiao, in the next life, remember to take an adult with you when you go out. Don't go to places you shouldn't go. This is not a place for waste. TSK, 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 my mission is to kill 5 people before I can enter the killing city. I didn't expect that I got a bargain today. The sound of the cup falling to the ground was very jarring in the hotel. The villains at the surrounding wine tables all walked towards Mu Chen and others with burning eyes. Kill them, a ruthless and indifferent voice floated out of Mu Chen's mouth. But, not to mention Ning Rongrong and Doupo Yan, even Tang San looked at Mu Chen hesitantly, with a look of hesitation on his face. There were more than 20 villains gathered around them. This is a living life. Quotations from the Tang clan, all disciples of the Tang clan must not cause trouble. In Tang San's opinion, he would kill these strangers who had no grudges when they just met. He can't do it. To be kind to the enemy is to be cruel to yourself. Those who can live here all rely on killing to survive. They all have human lives on their hands. Killing them is also to eliminate harm for the people. Mu Chen's words captured the last line of defense in Tang San's heart. The first soul skill, entanglement, the first soul skill, waist bow, the first soul skill, phoenix fireline, the third soul skill, white tiger vitra transformation, the first soul skill, snake blade. Xian level advanced fighting skills, bajabang, bang bang bang. 8 of the 9 Shrek monsters took action, and the sound of landing continued in the hotel. After a while, except for the hotel staff, everyone who had any idea of the Shrek 9 monsters were knocked unconscious on the ground. Mu Chen glanced at the evil people still alive on the ground and repeated, I said, kill them. Tang San glanced at the ground and resisted. Boss Mu, no need. Mu Chen said lightly, when we enter the city of killing, we can only rely on ourselves. The world inside is only about killing. How can we enter the city of killing with such a soft heart? I say it again, kill them. Well, Mengyiran, Tang San and others still looked at them hesitantly. Click, Dai Mubai took action. As the prince of the Star Luo Empire, his mind is far beyond comparison with others. Crack, crack. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing took out their daggers and cut the throats of the unconscious villains around them, ending their lives. Mengyiran, Ma Hongjun, Zhu Zhuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Oscar looked at each other, hesitated for a while, and finally took action to end the lives of the villains around them. Rongrong, drink it. Mukin pointed at the remaining Huangquan Du in Ning Rongrong's cup. Can I not drink it? Ning Rongrong asked. Sure, go back the same way and return to your 7 treasures glazed sect. Mukin said coldly. Return to the 7 treasures glazed sect. Ning Rongrong was stunned. Mukin was going to let her go back to her hometown. Brother, why don't you forget it? Rongrong has just killed a villain according to your instructions. What's more, she is still a child. As a good sister, Xiao Wu interceded for Ning Rongrong. No. Mukin shook her head. You always bully me. You bad guy. Ning Rongrong had tears in her eyes, and she felt very aggrieved. She didn't understand what she liked about Mukin. Mukin always bullied her, but she just happened to like Mukin. During the sparring, Mukin bullied her with the Millennium Kill. When teaching her the soul skill Baji Collapse, Mukin bullied her with a whip. Now even when she didn't want to drink the yellow spring dew, Mukin still bullied her like this. Could it be that she, Ning Rongrong, liked to be abused? When God wants to give a man a great responsibility, he must first make his mind and will suffer, his muscles and bones tired, his body hungry, his body empty, and increase his inability. If you want to become a real strong man, stand out from the army of soul masters, and stand at the top of the continent, you must do things that ordinary people can't do. Drink or not, it's up to you. Drink, follow us into the killing city. If you don't drink, go back to the 7 treasures glazed sect by yourself. Mukin's eyes were unmoved, and his tone was indifferent. Chapter 80 The Bad Guys Entering the Killing City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After saying that, Mu Chen looked at the waiter and said, We are going to enter the city of killing and open the door to the city of killing. There were so many people dead in the hotel, but the waiter's expression was surprisingly calm. Maybe he had seen this kind of thing too many times. Pointing to a notice board on the wall of the hotel, he said, If you want to enter the killing city, you must complete the above task. Task? Entering the killing city, there are still tasks. Mu Chen glanced at the notice board hanging on the wall. It does have some tasks written on it. From the hotel waiter's explanation, Mu Chen learned that if you kill 100 people, you can enter the killing city. In addition to killing, there are 2 ways to enter the killing city. One of them is to do tasks. Complete some tasks issued by the hotel, and the content of the tasks has the characteristics of mercenaries. For example, escorting a caravan and going out to buy goods, or if you need something, you need evil people to find it. Mu Chen guessed that the purchased goods should be daily necessities for the killing city. As for the third way, each person pays 100,000 gold soul coins, which is equivalent to buying a ticket to enter the killing city. To put it bluntly, if you have money, you can push people around. 100,000 gold soul coins are really unaffordable for most people. But Mu Chen and others are different, they can afford it. As for her money, I'll pay for it. Mu Chen looked at Mengyiran's expression with the word between his brows and facial features, and took the initiative to pay her 100,000 gold soul coins without waiting for Mengyiran to speak. The hotel waiter and hotel manager stared at Mu Chen dumbfounded, their jaws almost touching the ground in surprise. The boys and girls in front of them who were not yet underage were actually holding hundreds of thousands of gold soul coins. Are they the descendants of a wealthy country? Or are they the young sect leader of a certain sect? Or are they the princes and princesses of a certain kingdom, principality, or even an empire? The hotel waiter and hotel manager shook their heads and didn't think much about it. Go to a place, touch a vase, and turn it gently, squeak, the shelves originally filled with items behind the hotel counter began to move to both sides. A dark cave was revealed. Warm and moist wind blew out from inside. I don't want to go home. I just want to drink some human blood. Don't even think about leaving me behind. Ning Rongrong hesitated for a while, then finally made up her mind, closed her eyes, pinched her nose, and drank the remaining Huangquan dew in the cup in one gulp. Immediately, Ning Rongrong took out another 100,000 gold soul coins from the storage soul guide and handed it to the hotel manager. Congratulations, you have the qualifications to enter the City of Killing. Welcome to the City of Killing. The hotel manager bowed to Mu Chen and the other 9 people, and sat in a very respectful posture to welcome them in. Let's go. Mu Chen took out a fire seal and entered the dark passage first. The passage was rugged and downward, seeming to lead underground. In the dark passage, with the help of the dim light of candles and fire sticks, after about half an hour of progress, a little red light finally appeared in front. When the Shrek 9 monsters walked out of the passage excitedly, they found that they were already in a strange world. A blood-red full moon hung high in the sky, illuminating all directions. The surrounding things turned blood red under its light. In the air, you can still faintly smell the faint smell of blood. Is that the City of Killing? Tang San pointed at a city wall in front of him. The city walls are made of a strange metallic stone. It is more than 100 meters high and looks very majestic. Mu Chen nodded and said, Xiao San, I can give you the things. Tang San flicked his fingers and took out many hidden weapons from the soul guide on his belt. There are many types of hidden weapons, including Zhuge's shooting crossbow, tight-back flower-mounted crossbow, bone-piercing needle, leg crossbow, flying divine claw, etc. After 3 months of construction, everyone, except Mu Chen, had obtained a set of hidden weapons. Thank you, third brother. Thank you. Thank you. Meng Yiran, Oscar, Zhu Zhuqing, Ma Hongjun, Ning Rongrong, Xiao Wu, and Dai Mubai all thanked Tang San. Tang San smiled and said, Don't thank me. If you want to thank me, then thank Boss Mu. I made these hidden weapons for you in accordance with his instructions. Thank you, Boss Mu. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Mukin. Meng Yiran, Oscar, Zhu Zhuqing, Ma Hongjun, Ning Rongrong, Xiao Wu, and Dai Mubai all turned to thank Mu Chen. We are all friends, there is no need to be so polite. Mu Chen also smiled, and with a flick of his finger, he took out the detonating talisman, smoke bomb and iron lotus from the storage soul guide. Each person has 10,000 detonating talismans, 1 iron lotus, and 20 poisonous mist bombs. Still, you haven't mastered any self-created soul skills from me yet. Among the 9 Shrek monsters, you are the weakest. I'll give you 3 iron lotus flowers, 39 poisonous mist bombs, and 20,000 detonating charms. Mu Chen flicked his fingers, and everything floated in front of everyone with precision. Sister Iran, you have 20,000 detonating talismans, which is twice as many as mine. It seems that I treat you better than me. Xiao Wu's words were full of jealousy, but there was a smile on her lips. There was no impurity in his eyes, and he obviously didn't care about it. Meng Yiran didn't understand the ambiguous tone in Xiao Wu's words. Her cheeks were slightly red, and she looked at Mukin with shy eyes and said, Thank you, Mukin. From now on, can I also call you Boss Mu? Mukin nodded. Seeing Mukin agreed, Meng Yiran suddenly said, No. I still like to call you a bad guy. Because, you are a bad guy. Meng Yiran was also unceremonious and put all the things into her storage soul guide. Meng Yiran's storage belt was very strange. It was a snake belt wrapped around her waist, showing her extremely slender waist. You don't like me, do you? Mukin asked suddenly. I don't. Meng Yiran was stunned, and her tone was hesitant to explain. Her dodging eyes were already telling others that she was lying. No. Mukin's mouth curled up slightly, and he said jokingly, If not, why did you give me this nickname? Women always start to like men by giving nicknames. You you are talking nonsense. I don't like you. You are a bad guy. You are a bad guy. Meng Yiran's face flushed and she defended anxiously. Hearing this, the Shrek 8 monsters all smiled and said nothing. Especially Ning Rongrong, her face flushed. Didn't she call Mukin a hooligan again?